race. He managed to come back a little bit from that, but his race never really got going until he had already dropped back to about 6th position. So hopefully that's not going to be the case this time. Kevin Ludi from Stentorian Peremarghi, Kasper Korjus from Carlos Leon, Philippe Siever from Nicolas Rohrwasser, and Thierry Del Rey from Michel Bifiga. That's your top 8. And those are the drivers who will battle for position, but the gap between 1st and 8th in this Super Shifter category is minimal, to say the very least. And that is what has always been particularly exciting about this X30 Super Shifter brigade. They are very tightly knit, very close battles, and always incredibly exciting to watch as the drivers continue to get laps around the circuit. So there's going to be more great action as the races get underway. The formation lap continues here for the X30 Super Shifters. The drivers will get themselves into a neat position around the circuit and line themselves up, ready for the action. So Kevin Ludi hoping to get a better start this time than he did in the previous race heat. But Kevin Ludi will start on the inside line, Stentorian Peremarghi second on the outside line. Then it will be Carlos Leon on the outside line from Kasper Korjus on the inside, Philippe Siever and Nico Rohrwasser, Thierry Del Rey and Michel Bifiga. Kevin Ludi and Stentorian Peremarghi just leading the field around on the very back straight as they come up to that final sweeping right-hander hairpin. An absolutely brilliant racetrack this here at Wackersdorf, just a few miles down the road from the town of Amberg. And now the drivers getting themselves into position on the start line. The only class this weekend which is standing starts, but with these gearbox karts, it is a spectacular sight. And the noise and the engine revs is absolutely sensational. Ludi and Peremarghi, Korjus and Leon, Siever and Rohrwasser, Del Rey and Bifiga. The drivers are in position. The starter comes off the main straight and we get ourselves ready for the start in X30 Super Shifters. The engine revs are at fever pitch and the drivers are about to get ready. The race is on now. Cracking start for the midfield, but what a start again from Carlos Leon. Terrible start again from Kevin Ludi as Stentorian Peremarghi launches into the lead from Leon, Rohrwasser and Ludi straight away in there, and Philippe Siever dives for the inside line of Kevin Ludi to take the place initially, and now Thierry Del Rey's getting on the move. So Ludi's in 4th, Siever in 5th, Del Rey in 6th position. Up to 7th has come Bifiga, and 8th is Kasper Korjus, who's had the worst start of all from that 2nd row of the grid. But Nico Rohrwasser again is off like a rocket from that 3rd row, and he's now already going on the defensive of Kevin Ludi, who's in 4th position. Now if he doesn't fall any further back down the order, Ludi will definitely look like to be starting on the 2nd row of the grid in both of the encounters tomorrow. But he needs to keep up this kind of pace and resolve throughout as we complete the first lap. Here comes Ludi up the inside of Rohrwasser, commits to the move. What an overtake from Kevin Ludi. Rohrwasser immediately tries to come back at him, but Ludi has kept that door firmly slammed shut. So it is now Stentorian Peremarghi and Carlos Leon again. Now this is exactly the same as we saw in race 1. Carlos Leon initially trying to get on terms with Stentorian Peremarghi, made the move for the lead, and the second Peremarghi realised that was what was happening. He ended up giving the place back. So the drivers continue their march around the circuit. Interestingly, there are only 2 drivers in the field that have decided not to go with the Nassau panel. That is one of them, Thierry Del Rey, who is 2nd in the championship, and the other person who's not running the new Nassau, our race leader, Stentorian Peremarghi, and championship leader, champion-elect as well, potentially. As they fly through that first corner, no problems at all for the race leader. Peremarghi still in control and still having a very good run in the early phase of this race as he continues to try and keep this pace and the tempo high. But Stentorian Peremarghi leads Carlos Leon as Korjus makes the move. We've got a broken down kart. One of the Spirit karts is coming to a halt. Now that looks to me like it's going to be Philippe Siever. Philippe Siever is in trouble. That is a real shame, and it looks to me as though the 612 of Philippe Siever crawling to a standstill here at Wackersdorf. Oh no, it's Kevin Ludi! It's Kevin Ludi! My apologies, Kevin Ludi, the 611 from pole position. Kevin Ludi is breaking down. There he is. From pole position initially, Kevin Ludi, his weekend is going up in smoke. Disaster for Kevin Ludi. He's going to crawl back to the pits. A chance to take his first victory of the season. He's disappearing by the race. But Stendonian Pinemagi continues his run in the lead of this race and is pulling out a bit of a gap over Carlos Leon and Nico Rohrwasser. Then it is Philippe Siever from Thierry Delray, Michel Biviga and Casper Corjus. But out of the race is going to be the 6.11 of Kevin Luddy. He's almost going to be lapped by the time he comes back into the pits. So here he comes into the pit lane, and it is absolutely heartbreaking for Kevin Luddy. The 6.11, his race is over, and that is devastating for the man who started this race from pole position. But for the race leader, 6.37, Stendonian Pinemagi, he is just getting on with it once again, out in the lead here. The Estonian is doing a fantastic job. Second place, Carlos Leon, being caught by Nico Rohrwasser, Philippe Siever and Thierry Delray. So I think we're going to get a bit of an interesting battle from second down to fifth. But at the moment, the Estonian is in control here. Stendonian Pinemagi running very well indeed as he continues his run in the lead of the X30 Super Shifter class in 2018. Nico Rohrwasser in third as he tries to make his bid to come past Carlos Leon. Philippe Siever and Thierry Delray are next up, with Casper Corjus seemingly missing. I'm not sure what's happened to Corjus. Has he got through and made up a position? Well, Thierry Delray is there in fifth position. We seem to have lost Casper Corjus. I think he's pulled off into the pits to retire as well. So where is the Estonian? I can't see him anywhere around the circuit as it happens. I think he might have pulled off into the pit lane as well. So it looks like two retirements then for Kevin Luddy and for Casper Corjus, who started third on the grid. So that's a real shame, but second place is now up for grabs as we've got Carlos Leon in front of Nico Rohrwasser, Philippe Siever and Thierry Delray, with Michel Biviga staying in touch in sixth position. Rohrwasser's got a good run on Leon. Leon's getting defensive. I think he's well aware of the fact that Stendonian Pinemagi's got this race to lose now up front. Leon is trying to hang on in there. Nico Rohrwasser is going to try and go for the move. Siever's got Delray right behind him and diving up the inside. Oh my word, Thierry Delray's made up two places. Goodness me, Delray's in there, and now Siever side by side with Rohrwasser. Delray pushes his way up through into third position. Carlos Leon is shunted back to fifth position. Siever goes clattering into the back of Delray's car under break of a turn 4. Thierry Delray has stormed his way up into third position there from the back of the queue. In fifth place, Thierry Delray is now in third position behind Nico Rohrwasser. So the top three is as the first race finished, but how we got to that point was absolutely astonishing. So Nico Rohrwasser in second place, Delray in third, fourth is now Philippe Siever, fifth position is still Carlos Leon, having dropped to that position now, but Michel Biviga is not far away. I wonder if Carlos Leon's got a small mechanical issue developing, because he lost an awful lot of time on that lap compared to the guys in front. They were all in the 47s, Leon in the 48s. He looked a little bit sluggish out of the final turn, so I think that's how it all got shuffled up. At the half distance point of the race, we had 10 to 15 seconds of absolute drama then. Rohrwasser is now trying to hang on to second place, but the Mach 1 driver, Thierry Delray, is closing up and is definitely catching him. So I think it's going to be a matter of when he goes for an overtaking move rather than if he goes for an overtaking move, unless Nico Rohrwasser can start to get a little bit more pace out of his Spirit Racing machine. So just like in Valencia back in February, the leading Spirit Racing driver is the Swiss driver Nico Rohrwasser, winner of the Valencia Winter Cup all the way back in February. The man in second place, doing a grand job. 4 laps left of the race here, and it's Stendonian Pinemagi still a good 3.5 seconds clear of the rest of his opposition. This is looking like one of the easier victories for the Estonian out in front. But second position is fine and dandy for Nico Rohrwasser in front of Thierry Delray, especially if he can maintain it. Philippe Siever's trying to close up in fourth position. Fifth place is Carlos Leon, and sixth position Michel Biviga. The other two racers in the field, Casper Corjus and Kevin Luddy, out of the race with seemingly mechanical failures. Not entirely sure what it was that put Casper Corjus out of the race, but it was not long after Kevin Luddy parked the kart that Casper did likewise. 3 to go, and this man is just absolutely flawless at the moment. Stendonian Pinemagi doesn't really appear to have put a wheel wrong in the 2018 season. He has won all 4 of the major championship point scoring races this year, and his pace on Saturdays have proved to be absolutely incomparable to anybody else. He's just set himself a league and a half ahead of everybody else in 2018. And the way he's currently looking, he doesn't even need to show up at Castelletto. He can take a weekend off if he wants to, but I don't think that's Pinemargi's style. I think he'll want to see if he can get a clean sweep. Brilliant racing from the Estonian. He's just disappeared out in front, Michael Schumacher style, and is just crushing the opposition. Second place though, Nico Rohrwasser. He's definitely giving Thierry Del Rey a big headache because he's upped his pace, and now it's looking increasingly likely that Del Rey, with 2 laps to go, is not really going to get his chance to move up into second position after all. Rohrwasser is keeping him fairly sharp, so there's no major catastrophes to worry about. Philip Siever's still there in 4th position, but he is dropping back, so he doesn't have to worry too much. So as they come through the final few bends of this part of the course, they will go into the final lap, and for Sten Dorian Pinemargi, it is absolutely heaven sent. He couldn't really have been gift-wrapped an easier victory as they come through this time by. Rohrwasser still in 2nd place. That man, Philip Siever, is down in 4th as he tries to close in on Rohrwasser and Carlos Leon, the 2 other men who will be in the top 3 in this one. But this is going to be a sensational victory once again for the Estonian Sten Dorian Pinemargi, the man who can do no wrong. If you snapped his car in half, down the middle of it, like Blackpool Rock, would be written the word dominant. Absolutely incredible. He comes through into the final 2 corners of the race. Sten Dorian Pinemargi, the Estonian, has not really been out of the trouble, has not really been in danger at any point over the course of the year, and it's just continuing here at Wackersdorf. He comes through, and once again, 2 out of 2 for Sten Dorian Pinemargi on a Saturday in IAME X30 European racing. For the 3rd weekend in a row, Sten Dorian Pinemargi has made the first 2 heats of the weekend look easy. And it looks like we've got a breakdown at the very end of the race, actually. That's Philip Siever breaking down at turn 2. He actually ran off the circuit on the exit of the turn. And so Philip Siever only just got to the end of the race there because he's actually broken down post-flag up at turn 2. So Sten Dorian Pinemargi taking the win, but Philip Siever broken down on the very last lap of the race. He was very lucky to cross the line in 4th then. So Pinemargi wins by 2.6 to Nico Rohrwasser. Thierry Del Rey in 3rd once more from Philip Siever. Carlos Leon and Michel Biviga with retirements from Casper Corjus. And most painfully of all from his point of view, Kevin Luddy, the pole position man, ending up out of the race. It's beginning to look almost inevitable that this championship is going to be sewn up this weekend by Sten Dorian Pinemargi, who's just absolutely flawless in this class. However, one thing we do know is that the next race is going to provide us